So she only had one bar, so she couldn't quite talk for us.
Okay.
But things went well for her.
Good.
So I'm not sure. Oh, I know. So she had this stack of the preamble to the Constitution, so she was passing that out to people who would then fold it up like a paper airplane and throw it.
As if they were gunshots into the air.
No, not gunshots,
okay.
not at all. Just like little birds floating through the air and hope and future, whatever.
Okay.
All right. So I think that, that's enough of a preamble for what
Yeah.
she
Should
did
we
today.
look at
If you
Lillian's
look
work?
right here, this series of works were shown at 3 different exhibitions, so I had put the books up for that so people could get a sense of it. And what they are oil paintings on silver leaf, so the canvases have been covered in real silver leaf. And the 4 images of the 4 women, which in each case are very provocative, come from a French artist whose name is Lecoux, who was purported to be a very significant influence on Marcel Duchamp. So at least in that regard, that's something that both Lillian and I share. So we've never really made work together. We've never really done projects together. She's always had her practice. I've had my own sort of different directions. Her studio is her studio, and mine was just like a little room in the house or something.
Should we go into one of the galleries?
Yeah, let's see.
And is this a Lillian room then?
This is the Lillian room, and it's actually a nice overview of,
Or you walk all the way around?
of nearly the 40 years of her work, because the small pieces that are down here that are dresses, and the dress on the wall behind us are actually some of her very first work at the time of her MFA.
Which was at SUNY Albany,
At
right?
SUNY Albany
Is that
in
how
the
she ended up
early
here?
80s. Pardon?
Was that how Lillian ended up in Albany? Was
She came here to do graduate studies. And then the suite of drawings on the wall are somewhat more recent. All of them are drawn from a group of plaster casts that she had collected. And then these few are the, what do you call it when you cut it out, paint the color through it? Stencils.
Yes.
So these are stencils for some pieces I can show you in another room. And then this was a drawing for something that she did that was a sculpture.
And this is you.
Yeah. So I did get in her art once in a while, at least as the subject. So these are beautiful because they're painted not on canvas, but they're actually painted on silk. And the premise is the fundamental idea that you can see through to the support structure.
And is the
for
cowboy
pictures.
also a painting, or is that a stencil?
Those are paintings, but painted to look like stencils. So the group was actually called Holy Shit, since on these guys it says holy, and we got some mierda on that painting over there. But the whole is like a very consistent and recurring theme for her. So you have here Kennedy inside of a hole. You get holes here. The dotted patterns are holes. I mean, you really find that from the earliest works that she did up to the present.
And is this a painting of wallpaper, or is that the wallpaper?
No, so she has painted for many years, both on fabric and on wallpaper as the base material, relying on that pattern.
So she's painting this brick wall behind
So it's
the
a-
wallpaper, as if you're
correct.
seeing bricks.
Correct. A self-portrait that came from
That's great.
also around the time of her MFA show. And this is a much more recent piece, which is a pencil drawing, in this case, that was like a preparatory drawing for a painting of an artist here. His name is Paul Morin, a sculptor, good friend of ours. So she did a really beautiful series
And
of those.
Jan, while
Yes.
we're here, so everything in the gallery rooms is for sale, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the prices.
Yeah,
you can
I mean,
see the
some-
prices that are on the wall.
I guess that's the point that we didn't make.
Yeah.
My task is to move as much of the sum total of our archive as I can to a new home.
Before you go.
The new homes being individual people that, you know, are interested in or like the work for some reason.
And this JFK is $75?
Yeah, the price ranges from 75 cents to $7.50 to $75, but usually for $75 you get 2 or 3 things.
Uh-huh.
And the only high price thing that I had marked at the moment is that group of 4
That group of
paintings
and that's
for
how much?
$750.
$750 for all 4 of these.
Yeah.
It's a steal.
It's a steal.
It's a steal.
All right, so here I'll
Did
show
anybody
you.
buy this yet?
I had one guy came literally yesterday, and he's talking right at the moment to someone else, and they're kind of
Okay.
negotiating the
All
possibility.
right.
So I have to show you the one other $750 work,
Oh, I love this one.
which happens to be a set of photographs.
Of Grand Street.
So, Lex, for me, this is like the quintessential work.
Yeah.
First, because I discovered it kind of by accident going through the archives, but really because exactly what it is. So it's Grand Street looking south, Grand Street looking north, the corner of Elm and Grand,
Yeah.
our house with the bunny painting in the front
beautiful,
window.
yeah.
I sold the bunny painting yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So it really tells in one piece
Yeah.
the entire story of our 40 years there.
It's magnificent.
Uh,
Yeah. And what's this one here? Sears Tower?
Well, you know, after that, it's just pictures I've made all over the place over 40 years, but it's the Sears Tower with Cliff Oldenburg's Fat Pat.
Ah.
I did sell a suite of these photos yesterday, which was rewarding.
I love these.
I did a whole series of the Statues of Liberty, of which there are about 40. And that was a project from the 50s as well, where the Boy Scouts were raising money to literally what they called strengthen the right arm of liberty, because the arm that holds the torch had gotten weak and people could not go up in it anymore. So for every city that raised a minimum amount of money for the project, then the Boy Scouts gave them this miniature Statue of Liberty. Cool for me because there was one, this one in particular is in my hometown in Wisconsin, in Kenosha. There's one in Schenectady. The other one here I think is in Indiana.
And is this?
That's actually on Grand Street.
Yeah.
Almost.
Well, no, this was on Phillip.
No,
Or was it on Grand?
right behind the Lamanga house.
Yeah, I found it on Phillip when I lived in
Yeah.
the neighborhood. It was behind, at the back of the swing park.
Yeah.
I love this picture of Colson.
Colson's downtown.
Yeah. And who's this guy?
So he was a very good friend. I spent all of my time in Albany working for a biomedical research laboratory. And he was a researcher from France who came to work there. His name was Jean-Pierre Bretader. Well, you never know what you're going to find when you open something up. This one actually happens to be Robert Smithson's
Yeah. So,
site-specific work, his non-sites in the Palisades.
and this is a scene from Wisconsin life?
Actually, probably northern New York.
Oh, okay.
I just like the trees tied down so they wouldn't blow away.
Yeah, they
So
don't have
here's-
that anymore. Those lakes don't freeze like
Yeah,
that.
I don't
anymore,
think
do
so.
they?
So here's Lillian and Lydia as if we were in India,
Uh-huh.
but in fact we were also somewhere in the northern
Uh-huh.
New York environments next to that elephant.
All right.
And then there's a multitude of photos.
So, should we see the Jan Lillian rooms while we have some time?
Yeah.
And is everything in those rooms? Oh,
Excuse me.